Kristen, what is the top reason the Leafs will win a potential play-in series against the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Well, Mark, the Leafs didn't go into this NHL pause on a hot streak. Certainly, they only had 5 goals in their last 4 games. But throughout the year, Toronto has been a dominant offensive club. You look at their 70 games, averaging 3.39 goals per. That's third best in the NHL compared to Columbus, 5th fewest goals at 2.57 per game. And you can just see the arsenal of weapons that the Leafs have up front. They've got 4 players with 59 points or more on the season. The Jackets, they don't even have one skater with more than 50 points. So you can see how, when it comes to their offense, the Leafs could hold a definite edge.
The Leafs have the edge up front, but also in goal, where Frederik Andersen has almost 50 playoff games on his resume, including a run to the conference finals. The concern with him in recent years has been fatigue. Well, he should be fresh as a daisy for this series. You look at the Jackets, Elvis Merzlikins and Jonas Korpisalo had good regular seasons, but they've never played in the playoffs, and we don't really know who's the number 1 guy there. So, Kristen, the Jackets already starting the playoffs potentially with a goalie controversy.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no substitute for experience when it comes to playoff goaltending, and there's no substitute for strong special teams either, especially in a short series like this will be Columbus. They've got one of the worst power plays in the league, 16.4%. And while the Leafs don't have a great penalty kill, 21st in the league with 77.7%, they do have the 6th best power play at 23.1%. And if you're getting a healthy Jake Muzzin and a healthy Ilya Mikheyev back for this playoff series, well, that's going to help your penalty kill pick up where they left off. The Leafs only allowed 1 power play goal in the final 7 games before the pause.
Boston scored 14 power play goals in 14 playoff games the last 2 years. The penalty kill killed the Leafs. Should not be as big a problem against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that's why the Leafs will win. Why will the Leafs lose? And Columbus will win. Well, number 1 is defense wins in the playoffs, and Columbus was a much better defensive team. They were the 3rd stingiest when it comes to goals against per game during the regular season. The Leafs were down at 26. They have the Seth Jones, Zach Werenski pairing, I think the best pairing in this series that John Tortorella can ride for almost half the game. And Kristen, the Leafs have question marks on their blue line.
Yeah, they do. You look at Justin Hall, Rasmus Sandin, even Timothy Liljegren, not a lot of NHL playoff experience between them. So that could definitely be something that works in Columbus's favor. And also, we talk about experience. What about behind the bench? Look at John Tortorella versus Sheldon Keefe. I mean, in these types of short series, a lot of it comes down to outmaneuvering your opponent. And when it comes to the coaching, you've got one guy in Tortorella who's 14th all-time in wins. He's coached 110 NHL postseason games, and he's won a Stanley Cup. Compare that to Sheldon Keefe, 47 NHL games total under his belt until now. So if you're looking at who has the edge in that respect, it's got to be Tortorella being able to rely on his experience to maybe outmaneuver what Keefe might be thinking.
And Torts should have his entire lineup, or close to his entire lineup, at his disposal. The Jackets led the NHL in man games lost due to injury this season. So I mentioned Seth Jones, he'll be back. Oliver Bjorkstrand, Cam Atkinson, among others, maybe even Josh Anderson. That's a huge boost for Columbus right there. And then you look at the pressure dynamics in this series. The Leafs, for the first time with this young core, will be in the favorite role. That could be uncomfortable when you carry the burden of previous letdowns. And the Jackets, we know, they don't mind playing the underdog card. The Leafs have not won a playoff series since 2004, Kristen. That, though, was also the last time they entered a series as the higher seed.